The summer heat was unbearable in the middle of the day. Some New Yorkers were passing when they noticed a dog locked in a car. They decided to wait by the car until the owner showed up. Their wait turned to calling the police for help. Officers arrived and assessed the situation. The dog's life was in danger, so they must act quickly. NYPD 19 Ward Officer Aruna Maharaj had been living alone for more than 6 months after splitting from her longtime boyfriend. It wasn't easy for her, and she had decided to focus on her needs and heal. She knew her career choice involved risking her life on a daily basis, and that it would be difficult, but she also found it fulfilling. As much as she loved her job, there were always situations in which she found herself that left their mark on her soul. There were situations from which she did not recover so quickly. Residents from nearby 88th Street near 3rd Avenue spotted a car. Upon closer inspection, they found that a dog was trapped inside. It was a June day, and they hoped the owner would hurry. Her hopes were not fulfilled. They knew it was up to them to do something when they realized no one would come for the dog. They all gathered closer to the car to better understand what they were dealing with. They started thinking about what to do. There wasn't much they could do and decided to wait. They realized after 2 hours that they weren't waiting for anyone and decided to call emergency services. They prayed that they would hurry to save the animal. Officer Aruna Maharaj of the NYPD's 19th Precinct was the one dispatched after concerned residents made the call. She had been closest to the scene. Her partner accompanied her to the crime scene. They hurried, fearing they were running out of time, and were speechless when their eyes took in the situation. When they arrived, the worried crowd informed them that the poor dog had been in there for over 2 hours. They had come to see a desperate puppy trying to get out. The weather was warm in the mid-80s, and officials knew that just 10 minutes would take that temperature to 102 degrees. The odds didn't look good. There was no wasted time for the officers. They had to do something quickly before the poor dog's time ran out. The crowd had grown as officers tried to break through the car windows. They had to be careful when pulling the dog out of the car, but they wondered if it was okay. Were they late? The 2 officers had retrieved the dog, but they wondered if it was actually a success given the condition the dog was in. He wobbled in his weakened state. Still working against the clock to help the dog, Maharaj and her partner luckily found some water for the dog. They worried about what else they could do. There were cheers when people saw the dog had made it out of the car, and everyone was happy to see he had escaped the heat. The interior of the car felt like the inside of an oven. The dog would not have survived if it had stayed there longer. The dog was still unwell, and officers needed to figure out her next moves, and fast. Everyone who witnessed the operation thought the dog was saved. But they couldn't be more wrong. There was still a long way to go. The dog's recovery was not guaranteed. It had stayed in the hot car for a long time, and the cops were cautious. But Aruna didn't want to give up on the puppy, and her next actions surprised everyone. From there, the poor dog was taken to the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, ASPCA, where he was to remain and be cared for until he found a new home. They recognized it was a male but had no tags. They treated him all the time, while the officer Aruna Maharaj often checked on him to see how he was doing. The dog recovered well, and a new life awaited him. The dog's ordeal was finally over. The swift action of Officer Aruna Maharaj and her partner ensured a successful operation. The puppy's life was saved just in time. Now it was time to find a new home for the dog. Luckily, he didn't have to wait long. Someone was waiting for him the whole time. The new owner who adopted the pooch was none other than Officer Aruna Maharaj, who rescued him from the locked car. It was as if fate had brought them together. The woman was very happy to bring him home, and the dog was even more excited when he realized he was going home with whoever saved him. Aruna Maharaj, one of the officers who helped rescue the dog, decided her home would be the perfect place for this cute, fluffy fellow. This pup will never be neglected again. The NYPD's 19th Precinct tweeted, "A month ago, this cute dog was rescued after his owner left him in his hot locked car for hours. Yesterday, one of his rescuers, Officer Maharaj, adopted him. Thank you at ASPCA for taking such good care of this lucky pup." The post quickly went viral, and everyone cried with joy as they read the wonderful story of the rescue. People were glad these NYPD officers were able to save the cute boy in time, and they couldn't be happier that one of his rescuers happened to be the perfect person for his new mom. To protect the privacy of those depicted, some names, locations, and identifiers have been changed and are the product of the author's imagination. Any resemblance to actual events or places, or persons living or dead, is purely coincidental.